ladies and gentlemen. Excuse my voice. I have a Dubai air conditioning cold, but I can survive the 20 minutes that's been allocated to me. When I say 20 minutes, that's what we've agreed, where I'll talk for 2 hours, which is my normal standard procedure. I think poor Amna was devastated when she saw that this is my presentation, and it's handwritten notes on pieces of paper, which is not very au fait. But anyway, here goes. This presentation, a short one, will be in 2 parts. The first 10 minutes will be bleak, black, dismal, and push you towards suicide. By the way, the sea is that way. But no, seriously, do not commit suicide. It would be extremely inconvenient for the conference organizers, you know, the police, the insurance companies, and all that kind of stuff. They'd have to cancel your lunch as well, so don't do that, okay? So don't leave after 10 minutes. And after the next 10 minutes will be the good stuff. But first of all, I think the biggest driver in the world for business geopolitics, and we've seen the geopolitical side with Trump, is kleptocracy, theft, stealing of loot. And I have a question to you. Now, don't worry, it's not, boy, what's the answer? Wrong answer, get out, go and see the headmaster. No, just in your head, answer the question. How much stolen money is in the world today? Let me help you. When I say stolen money, I mean money taken out, tax-evaded money from the emerging markets and stashed in Western banks. How much is it? I'll help you again. Is it 1 billion? Is it 3 billion? Or is it 5 trillion? Right, okay, just in your head, answer. And the answer is 47 trillion. According to the IMF and World Bank. By the way, I cheated in the way I did the structure of the question. Sorry. My next career is politics. No. That misbehavior, malfeasance, is metastasizing like cancer. We see it in all parts of the world. We've seen it in all parts of the emerging markets. We've seen it in Europe, Belgium, for example. But we see it now increasing and intensifying, and Trump is the symbol, the icon of global kleptocracy. This is not good. Now, the first part of the presentation, I say, it's not forecasts, but I want to highlight the risks. Because hotel industry in the GCC, that's what most of you are doing, yeah? You lucky, lucky devils. How did you end up doing that? Because that, as I will say in the final 10 minutes, this is one of the best places and best sectors to be in. But the risks, I think, are global. I don't think, for example, of Middle East war is a real forecast risk that I would advocate. And also we've seen with what's happening in Gaza and internationally that UAE and KSA, Saudi Arabia, have done well. They were doing well, they remain doing well. Has there been impact from the war? Yes, but very limited, short-term, temporary. So I think the bigger risks are beyond this region physically, geographically. And the first one is in Hungary. Now, I live in Austria, which is only a few hundred kilometers or 50 kilometers from the Hungarian border. And now, don't worry, if some of you don't know where Hungary is, it's okay. It's like Paraguay. That's next door to Switzerland. No. So Hungary, you may know, is run by Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister. I said run by, and I mean that. Viktor Orban is an extreme authoritarian. Some would call him a fascist, as I would. And he's also a leader of a kleptocracy in Hungary. He steals EU money and he slaps the EU in the face and doesn't say thank you. It's very rude. There'll be an election in Hungary in April. Fidesz, his party, will lose. They will get 38% of the vote. The Electoral Commission, run by Orban's brother-in-law, will say he didn't get 38%, they got 59.62%. Vladimir Putin of Russia will say that's correct. Donald Trump will say that's correct. And then the EU, what are you going to do about it? Like Georgia, not Georgia Atlanta, Georgia Tbilisi, 100,000, 500,000 people will go on the streets and demonstrate. What will happen? Will the Hungarian army shoot on its own people or not? How will the EU respond or not? So that's April next year, something that's not talked about a lot, and I see that as a big risk out there. Second big risk, the US midterms next November, the midterm elections. I think you know, everybody knows about that. And some of my friends say, Danny, it's going to be very decisive, the midterm elections. And I think the midterms, oh, you think they're going to take place? That's nice, that's sweet, so cute, so charming, so hopeful. I'm for them as well. I believe in elections, it's great. No, they will, I think they will take place, but gerrymandering, that's an English phrase, you don't need to know that. It's called cheating. You cheat on the lines of the geography to help your party win a certain sector and certain votes. So I think it'll be a test case for the Trump regime to see how badly or how well they do. So the midterms will be interesting, but maybe not cataclysmic. But the big one is the third one. The presidential elections of November 28. Trump is not going to leave quietly. He may run for a third term, he may twist the Constitution or not. He just said on his aeroplane the other day that he will not run as vice president under Vance as president, etc., etc. He's captured the American state, the FBI, the Pentagon, which is now called the War Department, and captured the FBI, the CIA, the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of the United States of America, there are at least 2 justices who by any criteria of human common sense are corrupt and engage in malpractice for money. 2 justices, I'll repeat that because I need to repeat it for myself. 2 justices of the US Supreme Court are morally and financially corrupt by any standards of human common sense. I never thought I'd say that phrase in my career. So the state has been captured by Trump and it's a process ongoing. Why would he give back the state if he were to lose the elections? And we saw what he did last time when he lost an election as well. Of course, he didn't lose an election, but that's another story. So that one is a tipping point. That will be November 2028. And on January the 9th, 2029, Vladimir Putin will invade Estonia at 4:45 in the morning. By the way, I can't be so, it could be 4:50, could be 4:55, you know. Don't put your alarm clock for 4:45. It's January, so it's going to be very dark. If it was the summer, it would be 2:30, 3:30 when the sun comes up. It would be an incursion of 10 or 15 kilometers into Estonian-Lithuanian territory to test out the West and NATO. And remember the date, January 2029, before the inauguration of King Donald I. So this will be the US in tremendous political turmoil and uncertainty globally, and this will be the time when Xi maybe puts his boats on the direction to Taiwan. By the way, for argument's sake, I'm not so sure about that one. I think Xi and the Chinese have more sense than to send boats to Taiwan, but let's see. So these are the real challenges. There's 4 of them there. Excuse me. 4 big risks, not forecasts. So if Trump doesn't get you, if Orban doesn't get you, and if Putin doesn't get you, don't worry. AI will get you. AI is valued at the moment at $5 trillion about. NVIDIA is valued at about 4.4, rising last time I looked last week. It's not worth that. AI, there is something to AI, I'm not sure what it is. I know it's going to cure cancer soon, so that's great. But I would say the AI market's worth $1 trillion, max. So there's going to be an AI crash. Now, I know some of you are heavily involved in AI, so you're not enjoying this, but sorry, I've got the microphones, as Trump would say. But no, I'm just putting it forward as a risk, your risk management. AI will crash, a regular market crash tomorrow or in the next 18 months. And I've been saying this before it became fashionable to say it. But anyway, don't worry, if AI doesn't get you, the last one really will, the killer. Crypto. Crypto is going to take us all down. So don't worry. Don't worry about all the other stuff I've said. Crypto is going to get us in the end. There is no value to crypto. The net intrinsic value of Bitcoin is 0. Sorry, it is. I don't know what it is. Is it $120,000 at the moment? Eric Trump has said it could be $1 billion for a coin. So if it's 1 billion, let's say it's 100 billion trillion dollars per coin. But that would mean the value of the Bitcoins in the world would be 100 zillion, billion, trillion, quadrillion, whatever. You know, just put a few thousand noughts behind it. And that's about 2 trillion, billion, trillion, billion more than the GDP of the planet Earth. Something doesn't work, honestly. It really doesn't work. Now, I know the story is this time it's different, but this time it's not different. And the characters doing it are chiselers, hustlers, snake oil salespeople. It's really not a sweet little crowd that's doing the business. Would you put your trust in these people? Some of you may have done. By the way, I know crypto can make money. If you can get in and get out at the right time, good luck. But maybe on July the 6th, 2027, after Independence Day, everybody's feeling happy with a bit of a hangover. Trump and his family start taking their profits out with their 500 best friends. Then the market run comes and you are left holding your ass. Assets. Sorry, I've got a bad cold. I stop. Please excuse me. You'd be left holding your ass. So good luck. Trump's out, got all the money, and you're there stuck. And it'll go from 100 billion to a billion to 100,000 to 100 to 50 to 10 to 1 to 2 cents. And that can happen. And I think it will happen in some shape or form. I'm just exaggerating for effect. But for heaven's sake, watch out. Those are the risks, clearly. Okay. Anybody want to leave? The sea is that way? No. Don't go. Honestly, it gets better. It gets better. Do politics contaminate economics and business? That is the question. I think the next session can discuss that as well. Yes, eventually, somewhat, but it's remarkable how the hubris and the enthusiasm inflates everything. And that comes from, in part, interest rates. And the Federal Reserve, of course. And I'm going to tell you about interest. I'm going to make a prediction about interest rates for you. You're investing in putting money into the hotel sector. Here we go. Central banks of the world, 100% guaranteed, are going to lower interest rates because they're frightened of the growth prospects in the world moving forward. There we are. On the other hand, however, they could be worried a little bit about inflation, because inflation's a little bit more sticky than we anticipated. So in fact, they will not reduce interest rates 100%. They'll raise them 100%. That's 100% for sure. So I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, all the central banks of the world will raise interest rates or lower them. Or they might be like me and not too sure what's going to happen and keep them stable and not move them at all. So here we are. 100% forecast by Daniel Thornley today, this morning. Interest rates will rise or fall or stay the same. I promise you. No, that's my joke. Seriously, I think interest rates are going to fall. I think you share that view too. They're creeping down, and I think they will trend downwards. Donald wants interest rates at less than 1% in the United States of America. And in one of my reports, I've pointed out that Donald wants low interest rates. Why? To help the American economy and the American people grow. But that involves some inflation as well. But crypto, back to my favorite subject, crypto is based on borrow, pump it up, borrow, pump it up, borrow, pump it up. If interest rates are low, that means the crypto market will boom even faster. That means Donald Trump and his family will make more money even faster. Donald Trump wants low interest rates to help his family's organization. Think about it. Anyway, the good news, hotels. These are the business. I work on global business and global information. And I know from the following that what are the best industries to be in and what are the worst industries to be in? Would you believe, and I'm serious, the best industry to be in is HoReCa, hotels, hospitality, restaurants and bars. And within HoReCa, the hotels are better than the restaurants and the bars because the people are cutting down on restaurants and bars globally. I'm talking globally now, and of course the GCC with international travelers, with more people coming here to live, with domestic demand, etc., is in a good sweet spot. The service industry is good. Luxury products are good, although they've trimmed down a little bit. Consumer staples are good. The IT industry is good, not least of which for defense spending, because that's what IT is now, and so forth. Experiences, cosmetics, lipstick, wellness, these are all the things related to the hotel industry as well there, the wellness aspect of things. All these are good sectors to be in, and you're in it, so congratulations, well done, don't commit suicide. Not yet. And the dodgy one, moving down, automotive. I don't know if automotive is good or bad. I think probably bad, or challenging and varying and changeable. And the sectors not to be in, the tougher ones, are industry, manufacturing, heavy industry, and then going within there is chemicals. You don't want to be in chemicals, by the way. I hope none of you are in chemicals. And you don't want to be within the subsector of chemicals, paints. I speak at some paint associations. It's like a morgue, really. But paint is a tough one to be in. So you're sitting in your office in Dubai. It's 47 degrees outside. And you're thinking, my boss, John or Susan, they don't love me. They don't understand me enough. They don't realize that I'm the person driving the business. I'm the person making all the money. I'm the person who the clients love. I'm going to resign and go and live and work in Bolivia selling chemicals. Don't do it. Don't do it. Talk to John, talk to Sandra, tell them how important you are, and don't resign. So 2 tips today. Don't commit suicide, don't resign. These are win-wins, right? These are win-wins. You're going to go home to your spouse tonight, and she or he will say, how was the conference today? How was that external guy on the Geopolitics? What did he say? He said, darling, don't commit suicide and I shouldn't resign. Oh, well, that's good advice, love. Oh, I'm so glad he said that. By the way, he could be lying about that, I don't know. Anyway, the closing point I want to make about business and the hotel industry and the sectors in general. I've talked about sectors, but also segmentation, price segmentation. Which are doing well, which are under pressure. And I'm going to use PowerPoint now. My hands. I don't have PowerPoint, by the way. I've never used PowerPoint, never will. So, the top premium, luxury, super prices are doing well. The rich are rich, the rich are traveling, the rich are spending. So that sector in most industries and businesses is doing well. The contradictory sector that's doing well is promotion, promo, discount, and cheap. Because poor people don't have money, don't have much to spend, and want affordability. So the 2 sectors doing really well are upper premium, top, or the low end. And you can choose what you want to be in. The toughest sector for the last 20 years, and for today, and for the next 5, 10 years, is the mid-sector. Mid-price, mid-range, mid-brand. Good luck to you. It's possible to do it, but it's hardest of all to do. Full stop. The sector that can do all of those, the premium, the mid, and the low, relatively, is the hospitality hotel industry. Because your sector is so good, relatively, comparatively, that you can manage the 3 sector segments. Also, of the 3 segments, premium, mid, and low, it's the premium luxury end that's doing the best. Just in the US, mid-range is down -4% hospitality, mid-range, but luxury is +7%. First-class flights in the first half of this year out of the United States of America were up 40%, first-class tickets out of the US, just as one example of that. So as I say, the important point is to try and where's your segmentations, where your pricing. And as I've said, if you're in the premium area, to make that premium, to justify the high price, then you're going to need wellness, you're going to need experience, you're going to need a lot more than just a nice clean room. But by the way, a nice clean room is a good start, as we all know. Looking at my time, 1 minute to go, and I think I'd like to talk about HR for a second. Could be a session of itself, could be an hour, but HR, human resources, is critically important in defining everything. I think AI is destructive of HR. I really do. I know that's a bit of a cliche truism maybe, but the big selling point for AI is productivity. That's the buzzword, yeah? You see productivity. Let me translate the word productivity for you. Productivity means in the English language cost cutting, and it means cutting your staff and to reduce salary costs. That's what productivity is, and that's what AI is. So crypto is going to steal all your money, and AI is going to steal your job. So you won't have much left. Started black, went very white, now I'm finishing grey-black, I realise. Crypto and AI. But HR is key critical, it really is. My own personal, sounds like a grandfather here, and I am a grandfather. Personal experience of the hotel industry is the staff and how they treat you, and the warmth and the professionalism and all that soft, touchy-feely stuff. I think that's the old way of doing things. I think building relationships with your staff and showing loyalty to them. Just want to say one truism, as I've finished out of time, is many companies and organizations moan and groan about the loyalty of their staff. They're not loyal with us anymore. They leave their jobs. They go to work for somebody else for 10 or 20% more. But I don't think the companies themselves have shown enough loyalty to the staff over the years, with M&A, with downsizing, and with productivity. I'm 1 minute over time, but I promised I would finish on time, so 1 minute's not too bad. I'm almost there. I want to say thank you very much, and please remember, don't commit suicide and don't resign. Thank you.